So hello, and welcome to another Arcane video. As today we are going to go through very quickly the Arcane Season 2 announcement and take out what we can from it. It did answer some questions, but it definitely raised some questions as well, at least in my mind, and I'm kind of interested to see what you guys think. I know that Season 2 won't be coming for quite some time, yeah, blah blah blah. Anyway, I thought this would be fun to do anyway because it's kind of fun to theorize. And given the ending to season 1, there is a lot to kind of theorize where this show might be going. There's a lot of different things that could go on in this show. And I think, in the aftermath, while we're all still, bathing in the glory of the show, I thought it would be nice to sort of, already start sort of the hype train for season 2, which we can hope is as good as season 1. So let's just dive into it. There are 3 different parts here. And so we'll go through them one by one.
Every way I slice it, if I go after your sister alone, one of us comes back in a box.
I can do this myself. No one else needs to get hurt.
I'm glad it's you. Had to be you.
Okay, so the 3 voices we heard are obviously Caitlyn, Vi, and then Jinx. So let's go through each one and kind of talk about what they say and what it might mean.
Every way I slice it, if I go after your sister alone, one of us comes back in a box.
Okay, this line is kind of weird because it might just be me, and maybe it's the really long pause that they put in between it. But I'm not actually 100% sure that that's actually the same line. I actually think that might be taken from 2 different lines that they've stitched together. That might just be me, because we do know that they kind of, played some tricks in the initial trailer as well. Like, some things weren't quite what they perhaps seemed. There's like a woman walking towards the last drop, and I think we're meant to think that it's Vi, but it's actually Savika, right? There are some little tricks they pulled on us in the initial trailer, and I think this might be another one, but I'm not exactly sure. She says,
every way I slice it, if I go after your sister alone, one of us comes back in a box.
Is it just me or does it tone a bit different? But every way I slice it, if I go after your sister alone, one of us comes back in a box. So we know this one is Caitlyn talking to Vi. Obviously, that's pretty clear in this instance because she mentions your sister. If I go after your sister alone, it can only be Vi that Caitlyn is talking to there. And we know that their relationship might turn into an actual relationship as well. And we kind of know that they are will be very close characters in this story. And it's going to be interesting to see how they, manage that relationship and where exactly it will end up going. But every way I slice it, if I go after your sister alone, one of us ends up in a box. Now, that is kind of a weird thing to say because, we left Jinx and Vi and their relationship in a state where we don't quite know where Jinx and Vi are. It's kind of interesting that was the kind of main theme of the show, and it kind of got resolved, but it's kind of still up in the air. Jinx sat in the Jinx chair, right? But she didn't kill Vi. She could have done what Silco kind of wanted her to do and kind of fully become Jinx, but then she killed Silco and then sat in the Jinx chair anyway. So we don't fully know, I don't think, exactly where Jinx stands with Vi, and it seems likely that her mental state will still be a bit up and down and will still probably form that way. So would Jinx kill Vi and put her in a box as Caitlyn is suggesting? Maybe that's where this is going. Maybe that's a kind of clue of where Jinx will end up going. But maybe also it's kind of, again, maybe it's kind of stitched together and this is a bit of a throw off because personally it seems a bit weird that Caitlyn would suggest that Jinx would be possible of killing Vi. It seems very likely to me that Jinx would kill Caitlyn and put her in a box, but to kill Vi and put her in a box, that seems a bit awkward considering that, Jinx killed Silco, as far as I could tell, based off a gut reaction to protect her sister. So to lose that gut reaction would be kind of weird, considering that was how Act 1 ended, or not Act 1, Season 1, sorry, ended. That would be a bit odd overall.
I can do this myself. No one else needs to get hurt.
Okay, part 2 is Vi saying, I can do this myself, no one else needs to get hurt. And of course, again, we assume that this is Vi sort of you know, wanting to confront Jinx in some way, and that she doesn't want anyone else hurt, and that she can deal with Vi on her own. Again, suggesting there that there is still some sort of rekindled, you know, sisterly love between them deep within Jinx, or at least Vi believes that to be the case, which again raises questions about what exactly Caitlyn was saying if she was talking to Vi in that part, and if Vi could be talking to anyone in this scene, really. You know, she could be talking with whoever the new sheriff is. She could be talking with literally anyone. Jace, like anyone, probably from Piltover, she could be talking to here. That she wants to deal with Jinx on her own, and that she can solve the problem. We don't necessarily know this is to Caitlyn. It could be to anyone. But this is kind of an interesting one because she could also be talking about other things as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be to do with Jinx, but we will assume at this point that it probably is.
I'm glad it's you. Had to be you.
And then Jinx says, of course, I'm glad it's you. It had to be you. And of course, we assume that this is Vi. It could be Caitlyn. In theory, you know, it could be Caitlyn. I'm glad it's you, though. It had to be you. Kind of does more to me suggest a confrontation between Jinx and Vi. And what's weird in that, and the two differences between the way Vi and Jinx just spoke, is Vi speaks as if she believes that there is some kind of, you know, hope of rekindling that sisterly love, whereas Jinx almost is speaking as if she knows that this confrontation between the two had to happen, and as if something bad is going to happen. You know, that's what I hear from Jinx's voice in that little segment. Now, if we just quickly as well sort of go through what goes on here, in terms of visually as well, you'll see that, you know, if we come to like this part, basically we get the kind of, you know, magic going on here with the hex tech, you can see, causing cracks in there. But then we start to also get the purple or pink of the shimmer as well coming in. And we still see that those two things, the hex tech and the shimmer, it seems like are going to, you know, continue their sort of large role as background kind of chaos makers in the background of the show, as we can see by that, because, you know, that pretty much clearly hints that those two things are here to stay, and that they, you know, will be causing problems for our characters throughout. So that was just a quick sort of talk about what this little announcement trailer had going for it. I'm kind of interested to see the theories that come out of it from you as well. But thank you so much for watching, and have a really nice day.